Okay, let's quickly go through the handstand kick up from the floor. So when I teach people, I typically like to make them or teach them to start with their hands on the floor so they can recreate that starting position each and every time. So we're going to quickly break that down, and I'm going to go through 2 key points for that. And I'm going to show you another way to kick up into your handstand, which uses a little bit more momentum from standing as well. So when we come to do the kick up with the hands already on the floor, there's two things. I mean, there's a lot of things, but there's two main things I want you to focus on. Number one is making sure we aim to get the hips up high. So when people do this all the time, they're kicking up, they're not coming up. There's two reasons. Number one is you're just not kicking up with enough energy. Number two is you're not elevating. So if I don't elevate my shoulders and I kick up, the chest becomes open like this. And I might be able to get into my handstand, but it's very bent. Whereas what you want to do, as opposed to the chest being here, you want to flex your shoulders as you kick up. So again, if I now kick up and then flex, the difference between this, where I flex, and then if I don't, where I allow the chest to stay open and the hips get left behind. So again, from here, you're trying to push into the palms and flex your shoulders. Okay, let's go through now how to kick up to a handstand from standing, but with control. So the only reason I don't really like teaching people to do it from a standing position is it uses a lot of momentum, and it's kind of just like chucking your hands into the floor and hoping that you find it. So the way to do it from standing and still to have an element of technique, control, and conscious practice involved is to still spot the floor. So if I place this here, what we don't want to do is this, hands in the air and just chucking yourself down. Even though you might be able to hold your handstand, there's just so much momentum that you're not really in control. It's just a little bit wild. So what we want to do is start from standing. Don't put your hands overhead. Start here. So you're going to spot the floor in front of you. You're still going to go through your kick up, but you're going to use a little bit of a momentum into the floor. So from here, you're going to be very close to the floor, spot it, and then kick up. So again, I'm spotting the floor, I'm kicking up from a little jump, but not too much. So that way, you're basically, instead of starting here and kicking, we're starting here. So you get a little bit of momentum going forwards, you can kick up, find a position, stabilize, and then get your handstand. So again, it's like hovering off the floor, and then there's a little bit of a weight shift, and that will give you enough energy to get the hips up and over. You're probably still going to fall into overbalance quite a bit, but there are two options. Either start with the hands on the floor or just off the floor. Don't chuck yourself down and just hope to find it. Remember, you're trying to develop habits, develop technique.